Listen, I'm a guy that went, what did we calculate? Over 30 years between being punched.
Right.
And a guy who's deserved to get punched in a lot of situations.
I haven't heard anyone disagree. I said this is possibly the greatest stadium knockout in the history of one-punch fights. Padres fan comes up and just destroys a Colorado Rockies fan in one punch. Now, this is the quick version video that I posted. There are lengthier versions where you see him carried out. There are two legends to this story. First is the guy throwing the punch and the one-punch knockout, which lands as clean as you're ever going to see in a fan versus fan fight.
I mean, his head snaps
Number two
back.
is the guy, the other legend is the guy getting hit who, after coming to, refused to press charges. Refused to press charges against the guy throwing the punch. There are two legends to this story, and for those saying assault and battery, it's not the case, because the guy that just got laid out did not press charges.
So is he conceding?
I would love to know what was said ahead of time.
So do we take that as a concession that he deserved it?
I take it as a concession
some level of smack.
There's a lot more than a guy running up and throwing a haymaker.
Or he's plotting his revenge.
Or that.
You know, I don't want the authorities involved. I'm going to go smack this guy in the head one time when he's not expecting it. That's the next step.
Just breaking the. I couldn't stop watching this last night because there's the guy sitting down next to the guy who gets punched in the hat, who, in the ninth inning, he's like, get off me, shoves him off, like, we're in a tight game here, don't fall back on me. This is like the production guy in New York City falling back on Paul as he's trying to host a radio show.
Now,
and then there's another guy that walks up on him and says, man, what? He sees the punch and he thinks about intervening, but then says, you know what's not worth it for me?
Well, it's over by the time he gets there. I think there's a fascinating element to me here is the person sitting. Keep it rolling. I can't get enough. There's a person sitting next to the guy who's hit,
yes,
who merely puts his arm up like, I don't want to be involved in this like I would do. But all of a sudden, serves as the brace for this guy to fall over onto. That's the person I want to hear from, his vantage point on this. Is it a guy? Is it a woman? I don't even know. But he has his arm up.
He's wearing a Troy Tulowitzki jersey, it looks like,
yes,
just by the ski I see on the end of his jersey. And again,
it looks like the guy sitting is like Paul on Radio Row in New York City as the production guy who was pulling cords, fell backwards and tripped over cords.
That guy I got up him. Like, I got a big issue with this guy.
Right? He doesn't participate at all.
Well, like, I guarantee you the dude that got punched deserved it with whatever he was saying and whatever trash he was talking. But I'm looking at the guy with him. That's got to be his buddy. He's sitting right next to him. And his response is to throw a dead body off of him in disgust. This is your friend.
He doesn't throw it.
You need to get new friends.
He puts his arm, but he doesn't throw.
Paul annoys the piss out of me a lot of times. But if I'm sitting with him at a ball game and some bro comes up and punches him in the face,
have my back.
I'm getting up and smacking the guy if that happens. I don't care what Paul said to him if he punched my buddy. And meanwhile, this dude who I wanted to get on the show is just sitting there tossing his buddy off like a dead sardine off of his lap after he gets laid out.
Then the other guy comes and he puts his hands up like with a shrug. Like by the time he gets there, it's over.
The guy who stands up, I missed it. The guy who stands up is like, hey man, don't do that.
Oh, it's over.
Yeah, it's over.
The dude that stands up and shrugs the shoulders looks like the shrug from The Last Dance from the security guard when he beats Jordan in quarters. Yeah. He kind of gives the, really?
What can I do?
What's going on? What's happening here, guys?
The glasses that fly off of this guy's head, too.
Oh.
I would venture
the sunglasses are just
destroyed.
And
this guy is out for some time. This is not a quick out.
The soul has left the body.
I don't know. I bet he was up pretty quickly.
How quickly?
Within 3 to 5 seconds.
I'm giving it 10. I'm setting over under at 9 to 10 seconds.
He's propped up, and you can see him sitting up at the lengthier version, which is circulated.
I haven't seen the lengthier version.
Where the police come in. There's 2 or 3 officers that come in along with some other fans who tackle this guy who threw the punch to.
Do we think alcohol was involved in this, by the way?
No way.
And with the
completely sober.
With the guy falling down, maybe some alcohol was involved in how he felt.
Completely sober.
But also, the funniest part is
they came from church, Chad.
The dude's reaction to knocking him out and how surprised he was. He didn't know what to do. Like, I've punched people before. Usually they punch back. I punch this guy. He's laid out, and he's just kind of, well, I guess we're done here.
It's an amazing punch.
I've always
we're
thought
not endorsing the puncher as much as I'm endorsing the punch.
It
is
spectacular.
insanely
it's as square
perfect.
as you can get. Now, listen, I'm a guy that went, what did we calculate? Over 30 years between being punched.
Right.
And a guy who's deserved to get punched in a lot of situations. I got punched by my friend Petey Kelman outside a Steve Winwood concert at the Garden State Arts Center, circa roughly 1987.
The only man to ever be punched either outside of or in a Steve Winwood concert is Paul Kuharsky. Continue.
And I deserved it.
And you were in your teens or early 20s?
This was maybe a summer between college, back out with the high school gang. But then I was not punched until a few years ago during a Predators playoff run, I think the Stanley Cup run, when I was walking
2017.
When I was walking back, so this would have been from 87 to 2017, I went without being punched.
Which is quite the feat.
Saying a lot of things that were punch-worthy. And I never feared getting punched. People just disappeared. I said to a guy...
Hold on, you also say, you take the Rocky V approach of George Washington Duke and say, you touch me and I'll sue. That's sort of your response.
But I never get
You would have pressed charges on this guy.
Oh, absolutely. But I never have a chance to say, I don't say that in my...
You just say it on air about it. Touch me and I'll sue.
Right, but I don't say that in the course of saying the things that would get me punched. When I say to the Kentucky fan, oh, they won despite bleep holes like you at a sports bar, when he doesn't punch me, he doesn't know that I'd be the first guy to sue him for punching me.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I got punched in the parking lot of our old radio station when I was keeping an eye on a guy who I thought was going to assault a woman, and he was giving her the business verbally. I walked by her. They were a little bit separate. I was walking by this potential altercation in a motel parking lot that's in front of our old studio. I walked by her. I said, hey, are you okay? Do you need help? She didn't say anything. He saw me looking back at her a few times, told me to mind my business. I was still kind of gauging to kind of dissuade him from doing anything stupid. Next thing I knew, he followed me into the gated parking lot and punched me in the back of the head right as I was getting into my car. This broke my long streak. Of course, the security cameras didn't work at our building, so the safety
Very
precautions,
safe facility.
Yeah, precautions put in place there really guarded me and helped me with the police as I wanted.
And they were also very concerned about fixing that for the safety of their own employees. They were really Johnny on the spot.
So we'll get right on. Oh, we're sorry you were assaulted. We'll get right on fixing that. So that was a great punchless streak, and I'm now on a new punchless streak. But this is the sort of punch I feel I would receive most of the time when I'm due to be punched.
If you're going to get punched, you pray that you receive a punch like this.
Really?
One and out, clean.
As opposed to a beating?
Clean. Yeah, exactly. I mean, this guy's waking up today and his jaw is sore, but it's not like he's scraped and bruised and where he's battered from tackling a guy and falling down concrete steps while he battles for, his dignity.
Could his jaw be broken?
It ended quickly.
I think a broken jaw
If you're going to lose a fight,
Listen,
go out quickly and get your show money in GTFO.
I drink a lot of protein shakes, but I don't want to have to drink them because my jaw is wired shut as a result of a punch like this.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified every time Outkick 360 goes live. We are live weekdays, 11 a.m. Central, noon Eastern, right here across the Outkick network. And while you're at it, like this video and let us know what you think in the comments below.